So here is the new Apple Watch lineup. As you can see, the new Series 9, which is here with a lot of improvements and some cool gestures too as well, which I really love. And then here is the Ultra 2, which is my favorite watch out of them all. I cannot wait to get this 3000 nit display. Are you kidding me? That's insane. And you also have the Apple Watch SE as well. No always on display, but hey, if you're on a budget, this is the one. So what do you think? Which one would you pick up out of these three? New iPhone 15 and 15 Plus have a refined design with a little more power, the dynamic island that you see in the Pro models, and a bumped up 48 megapixel camera. But which color do you like best? Is it the return of the pink? This one looks really great in person. Or is it the yellow? Might not be as vibrant but still looks fresh. Or is it the green? Or is it the blue? I think I like this one the most. Or is it the classic black? You can't go wrong with this one. Let me know. Here's some hands-on with the woven case that you can see. This is much better for the environment, but it actually has a really cool texture to it. It almost feels like Alcantara in a way, and then really grippy corners as well. This is on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, so you can see that. And what do you guys think of the case? You like it? Do you not like it? Let me know. The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max have a new titanium finish and also gets the upgraded cameras with the 5x zoom lens, but I want to know, which color would you get? Would you go with the classic black titanium? Or would you go with the classy blue titanium? Or do you get the natural titanium, which I think look the best? Or do you go with the clean white titanium? Let me know.
I say sometimes in my live shows, it's kind of a joke, right? So I'm not insulting philosophers here, but I say there's only one interesting question in philosophy, right? And I don't really mean it, but I think it sounds funny. So the interesting question is, what does it mean to live a finite, fragile life in an infinite, eternal universe? So that's not that funny, right? It's a good question. What does it mean to live a finite, fragile life in an infinite, eternal universe? And I think the answer is that, sort of paradoxically, whilst we are definitely physically insignificant, I've just said, you know, that the Earth is one star around the Earth is one planet around one star amongst 400 billion stars in one galaxy amongst 2 trillion galaxies in a small patch of the universe, right? So we're definitely small. You can't argue with that. We're just specks of dust. But if you think about what we are, so everybody, me and you, everybody, we're just collections of atoms, right? Some of them are as old as time, pretty much, and some of them were the other ones. Everything else, other than the hydrogen in our bodies, was made in stars, right? So we're all cooked over billions of years, and we're in this pattern that can think. So suddenly, as the great Carl Sagan said, you have a means by which the universe understands and explores itself, which is us, and that sounds unlikely when you put it like that, that you can have a few things that were cooked in the hearts of stars, you stick them together in a pattern, and suddenly it has some ideas and starts writing music and art and things. That's quite difficult to comprehend, right? But that happened here. We know that because we're sat here having a conversation. And so the question then becomes, well, on how many other worlds did that happen? And that's where I think the value can come in, because it's a reasonable guess, and it's just a guess, right? But it's reasonable. You can make the argument that there aren't any other worlds where this happened, certainly in our galaxy. So it could be that this planet, notwithstanding its physical insignificance, is the only place where anything thinks.
Pre-ordered the iPhone 15 Pro Max because it is the best iPhone to ever come out. At least that's what they say every single year. No, the real reason I pre-ordered it is because I'm still using the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and this is actually a pretty steep upgrade for me. The past couple of years, I haven't really felt the need to upgrade, but now in addition to the new cameras and dynamic island, I'm also gonna get USB-C and the action button. With that said, I waited a little too long for the pre-order, and they're saying I'm not gonna get mine until October 9th through the 16th. So I'm gonna see if I can cancel my order and try and pick one up in person or something. But let me know, are you getting the new iPhone this year?
What if we could smell diseases? Meet Joy. She's known as the Nose, and her superpower is hyperosmia, the overwhelming sensitivity to smells. Joy's husband Les had Parkinson's, and she actually noticed a greasy, musky smell decades before he was diagnosed. One day, Les came home from work, and Joy thought he smelled different. The smell never went away, so she ignored it. 30 years after Les was diagnosed, they both went to a Parkinson's support group meeting. When Joy walked into the room, she was overwhelmed by that exact same smell. Since then, Joy put her nose to work, helping scientists and researchers detect other diseases like tuberculosis and cancer with her nose. Our bodies are constantly leaking biologically relevant information, so scientists are looking to replicate Joy's superpower with our smartphones. A super-smelling smartphone could be life-changing by detecting the spread of the next pandemic, catching cancer earlier, or even help reframe how we think about mental health. So that's why Joy and scientists are continuing to ask the question.
So there are lots of multiverses, actually, in physics. One of them is called the inflationary multiverse, which is we have a theory of essentially what happened before the Big Bang. Right? You have to be careful with the language. So if you define the Big Bang really carefully as the time when the universe was very hot and very dense, and as I said, you can't argue with that because we can see it, because we can look out into the sky. Our best theory of how the universe got into that state is that there was a time before that, and it's called inflation. So the idea is the universe was there, in a sense, cold and empty and expanding extremely fast. And that expansion slowed down and stopped. And the energy that was driving that expansion got dumped into space, heated it up, and made all the particles out of which we're made. And that's what we call the Big Bang. So that's textbook. It's a textbook theory called inflation. It made predictions, some of which have been tested. Some incredible predictions, actually, about the way that galaxies are distributed across the sky, because they're not just random. If you look at the galaxies, they're in sort of flows and rivers of galaxies that cross the sky in a pattern called the cosmic web. And inflation predicted that before it was seen, actually. So it's an astonishing idea. And that theory has a kind of an extension called eternal inflation, which is that the inflation essentially goes on forever. And it just stops in little patches. So you imagine the fabric of the universe, space-time, stretch. And then it slows down and stops in little patches. And each one of those patches is basically a Big Bang and a universe, of which ours is one. So you end up with this sort of picture of an infinite fractal universe of basically an infinite number of Big Bangs. And that's called the inflationary multiverse.